Back in June of last year, I took some sexy pictures out in the desert. They were a gift from my wife to give her something fun and sexy. In October of last year, just a couple of months later, I took some more sexy pictures, this time in a boudoir studio. These pictures were just for me. And I know there are some people who might not think very highly of me for any number of reasons, but it's important for me to keep in mind that these pictures aren't for them. They're for me. Back in June, I took pictures in various states of undress. Jeans and a shirt, just jeans, shirt and boxers, just boxers, and finally we ended with some pictures in my birthday suit. And by far, that was the part of the day where I had the most fun. And I couldn't really tell you why. I think some of the other pictures came out really well. One of my favorites has me just wearing black boxers, and I think the black does a really nice job providing contrast against my pale skin. The pose flatters me, the whole image just looks great. And there are some shots where I'm naked that I'm not wild about, either because the pictures accentuate curves I have, or the definition I don't. But for the most part, the naked pictures are where I was the most comfortable. And those shots almost all turned out incredible. It takes a lot of confidence to take any sort of boudoir pictures, especially when you're grappling with self-image issues, as I so often am. And while I really respect anyone who does a boudoir shoot, and I definitely do not mean to imply that you're less brave if you don't take naked pictures if you do one of these shoots, well, for me, speaking completely personally, taking naked pictures felt like a huge accomplishment, a major step forward in my journey toward improving my self-esteem. Of course, we were also in a public space, so sometimes people would walk past the area where we were taking pictures, and so as they got close, we'd drape a shirt over me to conceal the most sensitive bits. But we were also losing the light, so we still took a couple of pictures with the shirt in that position. And while we did, we sort of joked that this was our Michelangelo pose, with the nude body concealed by the simple sheet or article of clothing. But in truth, that idea got its hooks into me, and the fact that the naked pictures came out so beautifully got me excited to take more pictures like that. And so literally, the day I got home from that shoot, I pulled a bunch of references of those Renaissance-style, Michelangelo-adjacent images, and within a couple hours, I had sent my photographer an email with a Pinterest board and a plan to take some more pictures, but this time, to do the entire shoot fully nude. Maybe with sheets if we could make that work, but I didn't want the images to feel overly posed. That's something we'd tried with some of the desert shots, and those just weren't to my taste. I loved the more relaxed shots, where it really looked like I was reclining or lounging. Those also helped to channel that Michelangelo vibe we were talking about. So in October, I took the plunge. Karen applied some makeup, and then Lindsay Carlisle, the photographer, started directing me and snapping some pictures. This video was meant to come out a year ago, but I was just burnt out. And I kept meaning to put this video out, but I kept pushing it back. And at some point over the past year, I forgot to take as much time as I should to just appreciate these pictures, because I am still so unbelievably proud of how they turned out. They present someone who is sexy, and knows it, and isn't bothered by any other issues out there. And that's someone who I wish I could be more often. It's really difficult, still really difficult, to be kind to myself when it comes to how I look. But when I look at these pictures, when I just sit and appreciate myself, I can remember how to be kind to myself. Or at least, I can try. This is my favorite picture anyone has ever taken of just me. Now, I've been in better pictures that mean a lot to me. There are some truly wonderful pictures of me and my wife from our engagement shoots, our wedding, and some other glorious candid shots. But when talking about photos where I'm the only subject, this is it. This captures that Renaissance vibe I was discussing before. This pose feels like it's straight out of the Sistine Chapel. The lighting is dynamic and the shadows are beautiful. The angle makes my body look really good. It's just, across the board, it's just my favorite picture of me. This video was supposed to come out last year. These photos, this video, was all recorded in 2022. But I have a bad habit of putting too many videos on my plate around the holidays, and especially getting overly ambitious with those videos. This time last year, I had just made 4 Critical Role videos meant to air across the course of 4 days. And even more importantly, I had just had my biggest brush with internet negativity in the form of the orc videos. And that was right on the heels of my video about the old forgotten D&D rule, which had become one of my highest performing videos ever, and subsequently drew a lot of feedback from people who felt like I had no idea what I was talking about. That also led to my first brush with the #BroSR and some of their truly toxic members. And so after all of that, I just got burnt out. There's video footage on some hard drive somewhere of me unboxing the photo book and the diamond plaque and the metal wall art and the calendar, but as I'm talking, I'm just getting emotional and defensive. I have not rewatched that footage since I filmed it, because at the time I was just dealing with a lot of emotions regarding how I felt about being on the internet. I wasn't going to stop or slow down, but I did have to basically adjust my expectations to factor in the inevitable truth that I was going to keep receiving more hostility as my videos found more people. Now, there had always been some frustrated or indignant people in the comments of the videos where I discussed, for example, Tiberius' time on Critical Role, but now I'd accidentally drawn a lot of attention with the Forgotten Rule video, and apparently deliberately provoked them with the Orc video. But there are 2 things that I tend to forget whenever I'm dealing with any amount of internet hostility. The first is that the positive comments are not only more numerous, but more important than the hostile comments. I've got a video about that coming out later this week, celebrating some of my favorite comments of 2023. But the second thing to remember, the thing that is sometimes really, really difficult to keep in mind, is that nobody else gets any say about how I live my life. Nobody else gets to decide how I run my channel, or how I carry myself in my personal life, or how I spend my free time indulging in my hobbies. And especially, nobody else gets to decide how I feel about my body. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves of that, by doing something just for us. So I mean this completely sincerely. If you've ever struggled with your self-image, I urge you to take some sexy pictures of yourself. Celebrate your body. You don't need to book a boudoir photographer. Just put your camera on a timer and strike your best effort at a sexy pose. You might be surprised at what you find. My weight is still an issue I need to spend more time on, just purely for health reasons. I suffer from back problems and I do have other health concerns that will be cleared up if I can shed a few pounds. But that doesn't mean that I can't still find myself beautiful or sexy as I am right now. These pictures came out so well, I had them turned into a calendar and hung it on my wall. And this picture in particular means so much to me and boosts my self-confidence so much that I had the photographer put it into a diamond block. It's sitting on my desk, so I see it every day. And it can act as a reminder of how sexy I can be when I shed the expectations of others and just live my life. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support the channel, there are a few ways to do that. You can subscribe and ring the bell and share the video with anyone who you think might find it moving or inspiring or appealing in any way. If you're able to support the channel financially, and no pressure if you can't, but if you can and you're interested in doing so, please check out my Patreon. You can join my Discord to hang out with other wonderful folks, and sign up for my newsletter to catch my updates. I've got some big ones coming soon, so keep an eye out for some more newsletters very soon. And of course, I talked about how these pictures aren't for anyone but me, but that being said, if you want to see more of these, there is a link in the description to a website where you can find more pictures like this, including the uncensored versions. Just because I made these pictures for me, doesn't mean nobody else can enjoy them. If you want to see me talk about D&D some more, check out my recent video about a new campaign I'm about to start. Until next time, play fair, and have fun.